Hi, everyone. Welcome to our interview today. I'm here with the amazing Marina Beech, and Marina is an Akashic Records expert. So, Marina, say hello to everyone and tell everyone what you do.
Hi, so thank you so much, Carole, for having me on. And I'm really excited about the event. Can't wait to share more. So, I am the Soul Alchemist, and I have been doing my Akashic pendulum alchemy for 7.5 years. And I run a spiritual business. I do it mainly online, and I support mainly female entrepreneurs to have their next business breakthrough. And I do that by connecting with their karmic baggage, their business blind spots, and we release those like energetic holds, the patterns, the programming, the whatever it might be that's not supporting that my client moving forward. We clear that from their Akashic records, from their business, so that they can then move forward in a more empowered and confident way. So that's essentially what I do, and I do it in a multiple ways. And I have a training academy as well. So I've got two
Oh, wow.
certifications, and I also have an oracle card deck and an aura spray as well. So
Yes,
I
which I've
have
got.
all Akashic.
So, how long have you been doing the Akashic Records?
Okay, so 7.5 years. Yes, it's 7.5 years. So I basically found, well, the Akashic Records found me. I wasn't finding the Akashic Records. I was on a spiritual journey, and I was trying lots of different things because my background is corporate,
Hmm.
30 years, retail, top of my game, traveling all over the world, and then went through a series of redundancies. And so clearly I was like meant to change my path, but I was not
Hmm.
listening. So I kept going back into retail. And then eventually I started to listen, and it was kind of like, okay, well, what am I here to do? Because I have big ambitions. And, once I get really focused on something, I really want to kind of like be, not be the best, but I want to kind of make a stamp and really support
Yeah.
and influence and empower. And so I tried a few energy healings, like modalities, but they weren't really sitting with
Mm.
me. But I'd always read tarot. Tarot had always been a thing that I'd done since my late teens, and I'd always had that interest. So that was something that I was doing in the background anyway. And then I came across a Facebook event that was happening with a mentor teacher that I'd connected in with, who was kind of like showing me my spiritual path a little bit. She was a guide, and she was having this event, and this lady was doing an Akashic record kind of like demo. And I thought, right, this is where I'm going to find out my purpose and my mission and my direction. And she revealed to me that I'd got a program of alcoholism, a master program of alcoholism in my Akashic records. And I hadn't told anybody that I'd actually got a psychological addiction to alcohol. My husband didn't know, my kids didn't know, my family didn't know, because I was too ashamed to reveal that I could not get a handle on this. And she cleared it in 10 seconds with a pendulum with my Akashic records open. And the switch just went off. It was like I kind of got my life back all in 10 seconds. And it was like, oh my God, what are these? And how do I learn to actually, read them, get into them, and also, start to help other people that maybe not struggling with such a big thing, but just to help them to have this breakthrough. So, on reflection, my ego needed something really big for me to actually go all in and actually believe that this stuff worked. But also, I found my purpose and direction because it was
Yeah.
a record. So that's how, and so after that, I got trained. That was in the June. So
Mhm.
I've been 7 years sober since June.
That's fantastic.
Thank you. And by December of 2017, I was doing paid readings, even though I was still
Wow.
in full-time work. But I kind of just went all in. And within, like, yeah, say 5 months, I'd started to do Akashic
So
record reading.
when that lady cleared that alcoholism
Yeah.
record, then was that it? That was it. You just basically haven't touched a drop of alcohol at all since.
Yeah, that's it. It
I
was
mean,
like the switch had gone off. This
wow.
urge, the desire, the impulse, the addiction.
Yeah.
I was constantly thinking, well, what am I going to do when I get home? How can I stop myself from having a drink? How can I keep myself
Mm.
busy? All of these
Yeah.
things just went off. My mind just went to a place of peace. It was like,
Nice.
I can do this. And like, I even went home. It was a Friday night and I was driving home and I was listening to this. And um, the normal thing we'll go to the pub on a Friday. It was a
Mm.
beautiful day, it was sunny, we were out in the beer garden. And I said, yeah, I'll go, but I'm not having a drink. And the thing was, is that for the 18 months before this, I'd got my physical intake down to a really small amount. It was
Right.
the psychological part that I just could not get past. And every time that I did just kind of like succumb and have a drink,
Mm.
the guilt and the shame that then came afterwards was just
Yeah.
getting really, really bad. But I just needed this clearing for
That
me
is
to.
amazing.
Yeah, it was a miracle. It's one of those
Yeah.
miracle clearings.
Yeah. And have you had that impact as well on your clients?
Um, I would say 90% of the time, you're not going to get a
Mm.
massive impact like that because it is
Yeah, that
it's
is.
a fairly big shift. However, I have had a couple of like ladies and actually a bloke as well, where I have taken one lady from being bankrupt and she had to fold her business and let go of like 30 employees, and she had a healing with me, but it was in a masterclass. It wasn't even a one-to-one healing, and I was channeling the energies through, and she released huge amounts of guilt and shame around losing the business, losing the home, losing the car. She lost everything, and she'd been in that business for like 18 years, I think,
Wow.
and she's managed to lose, like, kind of release all of that through the Akashic Records, and within 3 years she's back to making six figures. So
Fantastic.
yeah, so she I mean, she basically, I mean, she has said it a few times that I basically saved her life in
Yeah,
a couple.
that's lovely.
So yeah, there have been a couple of clients where we've had really profound. There's another lady that had physical ailment. So she was really allergic to scents, like different aromas. So much so that people that she worked with when she was going into work, they weren't allowed to wear aftershave, they weren't allowed to wear deodorant. It was a really strong reaction. And we've done 2 sessions with her, just 2 sessions, and that has all gone. And that was just working with her health, but within the Akashic Records. A
So,
lot of like phobia stuff was there as well.
so just for anyone who's listening in and is thinking, right, what are these Akashic records? Because we've all got them, but exactly where are they? So could you let us know, Marina?
Yeah, absolutely. So the Akashic Records, we visualize them as being outside of us. We
Yeah.
tend to visualize them as being a library. That's
Mm.
the easiest thing. And each book represents a lifetime that we've had, um, wherever that might have been. So a little bit like this backdrop here, this is like the Akashic Records, and you've got all of these different lifetimes of events and experiences, relationships, memories, thoughts, feelings, all kind of encapsulated in one of these books. And your Akashic Records is the space that you go to actually gain that wisdom, to access that wisdom.
Oh.
In reality, your Akashic Records are actually within you. They're part of
Mm.
your energetic DNA. So we are our Akashic Records, but we tend
Yeah.
to visualize them as being outside of us, but they're not. They're actually within us.
Yeah. Okay. That's really good. So, yeah, because I remember once I spoke to somebody who did Akashic Records, and that's what she said is, I got the impression that they were outside of us, and somehow you'd go in and a bit like a filing cabinet and you would take out these files. But you've really explained it beautifully. So when somebody wants to, why would somebody come for the Akashic Records?
Well, generally, I work with, as I say, female entrepreneurs, and usually they're feeling stuck in their
Right.
business. They've tried maybe some different types of modalities, and they just don't seem to be getting anywhere.
Right.
So, what we can do is look at a number of things. We can look at the personal records of the person, and we can also look at the records of the business, because your business also
Right.
has its Akashic records. Your home has its own Akashic records. The country, the planet, also they all have their own Akashic records. So we can access these points to see where the misalignments are, where the negative energy is, the non-beneficial energy is, and we kind of release that. But a session with me is not just about the energetic release, it's about the strategy as well. What action are you going to take and embody this next level identity or this change and shift? Because it's good to do the energy, of course, but we do need a bit of strategy as well. So
Yeah.
it's important that we ground the energy healing to actually create the change. So for me,
Yes.
my alcohol addiction, the psychological addiction, if I'd just gone back to the pub and gone to that pub that Friday and then gone and had another drink, then that energetic healing wouldn't, it's neither the here or there. I had to then embody that new level in that moment and continue that new choice of never having alcohol again.
You know, when you did that and you said, I'll come to the pub, but I'm not having a drink. When you got to the pub, did anyone say to you, do you want a drink? And did you have to say no? Or,
Well, I was going with my other half,
right,
and so I'd already said I'm not drinking. At that point I hadn't explained what had happened,
right.
because I hadn't explained in the first place that I'd got a psychological addiction. That is something that I've had to talk about
Yeah.
afterwards, because I didn't realize that I had a psychological
Yeah,
addiction.
of course.
Kind
Yeah.
of reflection of looking at my behavior and my mindset and my
Mm.
patterning, and then also understanding why was I numbing so much, why did I need that drink, what was I avoiding. So I've then had to unpick and shine the light on all of that, which I needed to have that psychological addiction taken away,
Yeah.
in order to do the healing and also to be able to facilitate holding space for others. If I've not done my own healing, then how can I do that for,
Yeah.
be in a
Yeah.
position authenticity to do that? So,
Yeah.
but if it's not alcohol, then it's busyness of some kind.
Yeah.
We've all got our own things, and it's
Mm.
not wrong. It's part of the human condition that we have
Yeah.
addiction. But it's
Yeah.
like, how much do they actually empower you, or can you work with it and feel a
Yeah.
bit more empowered with it?
So I know you're going to be speaking at Rich Hot and Spiritual live in November. So we are all so excited. So many of the attendees have already said to me they can't wait for your talk, including me, because I want to learn more about it. I'm so excited. So can you just tell us, without giving all those really good golden nuggets away, but tell us what your talk is going to be about?
Sure. So I'm gonna share a little bit more about the business records
Yeah,
and
it's really interesting.
what that is in relation to the Akashic records, and just give you a kind of a bit of an overview of how you can use the business records, what you would use them for on a day-to-day basis. And then what we're going to do is the attendees are going to get involved, and I'm going to kind of take people just into a kind of a light meditative state, so that you can really connect with your intuition and the soul of your business, because your business has its own spirit as well. So you're going to connect in there, and then you're going to get given a number, and that is going to indicate then your number one client attraction blind spot. I'm going to
Wow.
that. I'll go into a little bit more detail about the impact of that, how it like holds us back, and then we're going to go into your business chamber, and we are going to clear that out of the Akashic records, And you're going to also just have a little kind of conversation with the soul of your business to get your next steps on your visibility,
Right.
your traction. So
Wait.
that's what we're going to do.
And you talked about a chamber. How many chambers are there in the Akashic Records?
You know what? I'd say the chambers are they're limitless. You know,
Right.
a chamber is kind of it's my way of being able to segment the Akashic Records up so that if we want to specifically focus on business, focus on wealth, focus on health, relationships,
Mm.
the way that I kind of then use that chamber is that we go into that space, and anything from any lifetime can get filtered into this chamber, and it will be the thing that is going to either directly or indirectly support what it is that we're intending for that particular space, or that relates to that space. So for me, it's like a fast track into getting exactly the right information
Good. Yeah.
from that chamber. So yeah, it's a little bit like going into the supermarket and you don't have your shopping list, but if we have a shopping list for a specific dish, we go straight to the thing, we get the thing, we leave, and we go and make our dish. So for me, it's very similar.
Yeah, that's so interesting. I can't wait. I know that. If anybody's listening to this recording, which I'm sure they will, um, how can people get in contact with you and how can people work with you?
Sure, yeah. So if you can find me on social media at Marina the Soul Alchemist. So that's any channel, Facebook, Instagram, YouTube, LinkedIn. And if you want to go to my website, it's marinabeech.co.uk. And yeah, just reach out and we can have a little chat and I'll see if I'm able to actually help you.
You've got an aura spray because I remember I got that from you last time. I don't know if you've got it there at all. Yeah, brilliant. Tell us just how that works. I mean, I know you told me, but just for anybody else.
Yeah, so the Akashic Ascension Aura Spray. So it's a high vibrational um, spray that's got 5 floral essences in it, and it has
Mm,
3 crystal essences in it, and then it has the energy of Archangel Metatron, who's one of my guides, and Ascended Master Merlin, who's another guide. And so this is basically a spray that you would spray either kind of in your space and you can like walk into the spray, or you can just spray it around your crown, which is what I normally do. And it's great if you want to just have a quick high vibe boost. So it's like in the afternoon when you've got an afternoon slump and it's like, let's have a little spray and let's just kind of like get uplifted. But if you want to do some journaling, meditation work, visualization, intention setting, any
right.
spell work, this is a great thing to use. And of course, if you're using the Akashic Records, it helps with your
Mm,
connection. So
yeah.
it's high vibrational. I have tested it on the Bovis scale. The Bovis scale it's a particular chart that has frequencies all listed out in numbers, and it goes from anywhere from my gosh, the frequency of say cancer, that type of
Yeah.
frequency, all the way up to divine source. So you've got like Stonehenge on there, you've got like different
Mm,
light beings, they're all different frequencies, and mine is the same as the Palladians, the
right.
Syrian star beings. So it's 21,500 on the Bovis scale. So
Yeah, that's really interesting. There's somebody else coming that talks about Palladians and things like that. It's also interesting. I mean, there's so much we could talk about. Maybe we should do a little panel on as
yeah,
well.
definitely, yeah.
Um, Now, I know that you've also got a set of oracle cards, and there is a training that goes with that. Do you want to talk about those, please, Marina?
Yeah, sure. So my Akashic Oracle card deck is a modality in a box. So what I mean by that is that it does come with a masterclass to get you started and
Mhm.
also to tune you to the cards. And it comes with a key that you can turn into a pendulum. So a key like this, which comes with a bit of string. So you can use it as a totem, but I show you how to use the key also to activate healing, karmic healing in the Akashic Records. So as part of the masterclass, I'll give you an invocation so you access the Akashic Records in a very conscious but safe way. But the cards themselves actually are really high vibrational, and so much so because I'm doing my certification at the moment. There is a lady, she's had these deck of cards for a good while, and I had a conversation with her only last week because she's completely blind.
Oh,
And she
wow.
uses these cards and she says the energy off them is so off the scale. And it's like she goes into the portal of the Akashic Records and she can read the cards, she can read the energies, and she's blind. So when I have feedback like this, I know that the cards themselves, which is what I
Yeah.
intend, to have them really high vibe, so that you access the Akashic Records in a very easy and effective way.
You don't know what you're doing with the Akashic Records. Can you do more harm than good at all?
Um, No, not if you use the intention of, which is what I'd say all of the
Yeah.
time. Anything that you do with the Akashic Records or any kind of energy healing or spell work or even intention setting, you've got to do it for the highest good of all concerned. And that's the statement that you have to say for anything that you do in this type of work. And if you say that, and then you go into, you start doing some Akashic work or energy healing work or whatever, and it's not for the person's highest good, nothing will happen. But you also want to make sure that when you're working with the Akashic Records, that you get permission to use the person's records. And I get the person's details to make sure I'm going
Mhm.
into the right Akashic Records. Because
Mm.
karmically, I need to cover myself. If I'm just going and accessing people's things without permission and here, there, and everywhere, I'm setting myself up for, not receiving good karma by doing
Yeah.
that.
Mm.
So, yeah.
Mm. It is fantastic. I can't wait to actually hear your talk in person. I know that you came to our event in the summer, and I said then that I wanted you to be a speaker, and then I decided we'd put on a November event. So if anybody's listening, it's on November the 22nd, which is a Friday. We're at the Bull Hotel at Gerrards Cross. I will leave the URL for the website in the notes below. Please come along. All your food is included, and we've got other speakers as well. It is going to be an amazing day. So, Marina, thank you so much for your time today. Is there anything else that you'd like to say before you go? Oh, seems like we've stopped already. Okay,
No,
I'm just
I
going. Oh,
say if you've not heard of the
you froze, Marina. Isn't that amazing? I said, have you got
yes,
anything else to say? And you just froze. Oh, frozen again.
no, that's all perfect.
Okay. So I'll put Marina's details anyway in the
I'm
comments below.
here.
So please have a look. I think you froze a couple of times, Marina. But so thank you everyone for listening, and we hope to see you at the event. Take care. Bye for now.